Welcome to another episode of Redacted. Today is Wednesday, April 6th, 2016. BoredGamer just lit right up. I have no idea why, but it's amazing. Anyways, hope everybody is doing well. Oh my god, so good. Let's start off with what have you been up to? Let's start with BoredGamer today. Let's see, Bored, how have you been? And what is
I've been
exciting?
pretty good.
No,
I've been pretty good.
Oh my god, you're a board gamer.
I'm BoredGamer right now, so
What's
I've
the
been.
theme?
Welcome to another episode of Star Citizen.
Wow, that's really racist, actually, and I'm triggered.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well,
It's
now
okay,
you
board.
guys are cuddling.
It's okay, board. Oh god.
Fixed.
Well, I mean, is it fixed? Okay.
Mhm.
So who did you want to go first then? Me?
Yeah.
Or-
So it doesn't matter where you are on the
real
screen.
the real BoredGamer. Please
Words,
stand
can you even?
up. Can't. I'm so tired.
I've actually never stood up before.
Now the trick is it going to be the same on the other screen?
Who knows?
Yes! So good.
Good job. Good job,
So
bro.
good. I am
well,
a professional.
I mean, I've been away for a couple of weeks. So apologies for that for people that are obviously here just for me because I'm so amazing, or whatever. Or maybe you just want to listen to Star Citizen or Saurus or Twerk or something, which is not the reason to be here. It's just for me.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for everyone's kind messages and stuff. I've been suffering a little bit of depression and all those kind of first world problems, which we can get away with having. And I lost my computer, so I had to build a new computer. If anyone out there is experiencing any forms of depression, worried they have mental illness, or just want to talk to someone, there's no taboo about it. You shouldn't worry about anything like that. Go and talk to your friend, your family, or your doctor. If you are genuinely worried about even just feeling really sad or down, do it. That's what they're there for. And if they're not, then they're pricks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've had to build a new computer basically. I grabbed an interim laptop, which I'm using at the moment, but it overheats and it's not appropriate. It got to 104 degrees the other day, which is past thermal cutoff, but it's still got that temperature. But I've built a new computer, a 6700K Skylake with an AMD Fury and 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, it's an okay computer, and it will do me until the new Pascals come out.
Yeah.
Possibly those new Skylakes, the 6900K. I think that's what I'm after with 10 cores, 10 real cores. But other than that, I've been playing a little bit of Star Citizen. I've been trying to get all my like software and stuff installed, which is and getting all my like footage for Star Citizen because I had like a massive catalog of stock footage which I've now lost.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm starting to get that back, but I'd have to wait until I get the proper computer set up. Because it's not really capturing at 60 frames a second at the moment, which is what I need. But I've been doing videos on like how the power plants work and my expectations for 2.4 and stuff like that. So if you're into Star Citizen videos, check my channel out. It will be appreciated. But that's all I've really been up to. I've just been catching up on everything. And I am.
Because you left kind of right when 2.3 dropped, right?
Yeah.
Or a little after.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to play in the PTU basically.
But
then
not before it went live. Which that's okay then, I guess. So you didn't miss too much, because we've kind of been in about the same place.
Yeah,
Well, the
Rex.
The Rex are much better now, aren't they? Apparently, someone was saying.
The Rex?
Actually, the Rex, like as in the
explosions?
desolate ships.
Rex, like WR. I thought you meant Rec as in like REC.
Yeah.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It's the same. We say it the same way either way. But they're much easier to find. Like you literally go to yellow, look left or right, find a little green light, fly to the green light. Once you get to that green light, there's another green light to go to, and it's kind of like I make a joke as it's like CS cases basically, and you have to get lucky and find a weapon that you want. But every weapon is achievable, I guess, except for the ballistic pistol. Through other means.
I found the ballistic pistol out there before.
No. Yeah, that's the only weapon that is not achievable in any other way in the game currently.
Yeah.
Other than buying it.
Buying it.
Or
finding it there.
or getting it at one of the cases.
Yeah, so I think you can steal it from people, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you kill somebody, you can grab it.
Yeah. So what I found a lot of the time is I'll spawn in, and I think someone's just spawned out or killed themselves, and I find their weapon on the floor as I spawn into my bunk. I go, oh,
that's
sniper
cool.
rifle.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what have you been up to, Twerk? We've been talking about Mike Starson's experiences.
Sorry, just sneezing. Coming down with a little something, but I've been up to a lot of, I guess, non-Star Citizen stuff. I missed PTU patch C. I missed PTU patch D. I downloaded E. Yeah, it's just been like I've had a hard time playing the PTUs because it's hard to find what to test. Basically, what they want us to test is the stability of the servers. So basically what they told me is they want full servers and to test what goes on there. But what I did do this week, which was really fun, was I beat XCOM 2. And
GG.
I beat it. I beat the last. I know I'm playing on rookie, but I beat the last mission without losing a soldier, which was pretty badass. But the RNG rolls. Go ahead.
What are the difficulty levels in that, and how do they compare to XCOM?
I don't know because I never played XCOM. XCOM 2 is my first XCOM experience.
Okay.
But like I guess the legendary Iron Man, basically everybody said if I was to go to play the first level, I wouldn't get through it.
Yeah.
And like I had gotten pretty decent at XCOM like at the end there. And basically I got super friggin' lucky. It like the RNG rolls were in my favor. Like nobody's business. Now, mind you, I missed a 99% shot too, and they were still way in my favor. Where basically I dominated one of there's like these big spheres. I dominated him, so he was mine, and I can use him for the rest of the mission. And they can bring up dead soldiers and make them zombies. So I brought up 4 or 5 zombies, and those zombies basically were like punching bags for the enemies, but they missed on the enemy on the zombies like over and over again. It was crazy. So it was just my RNG rolls were sick on that last mission, and I did really
change Twerk's name to RNGesus. Jesus.
Yeah, I was RNGesus. It was sick. It was sick. But what basically came out of XCOM 2 was I really enjoy games with story. I really enjoy single-player campaigns, and I think I actually might want to play more games like that on stream in the future. I'm thinking games like Mass Effect and maybe Masters of Orion, like
some story.
You thought about doing any point-and-click adventures and that sort of stuff?
I don't know.
Like, because I think you might quite like them, like Shardlight, Tormentum. There's light puzzlers, but they're point-and-click, really story-rich games that I absolutely sodding loved over the last couple of months. In fact, the last couple of weeks, they helped keep me sane.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, I'm just thinking that's the sort of game I can imagine you really enjoying playing.
Yeah, like I don't know, like Mass Effect's probably my favorite game of all time at this point. Like all the 3 games together, I know like the ending of Mass Effect 3 was fucking terrible.
Out of curiosity in chat, what Mass Effect game of the series, Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3, was your favourites? I'm just curious, people in the chat.
What's yours?
Well, I've told you this before, and you basically went, "It's the worst one of the series."
Oh, 2, right? 2 is the worst.
So I loved 2. I thought 2 was amazing.
I just hated the story.
A lot of bad things about 3. I've only started to play Mass Effect 1 just this last week.
I like the story in 3. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for Saurus, but I really... Everybody says 2! What the hell, man? No way.
Yeah!
There you go.
But Deus Ex, that's a game that people have mentioned before, Deus Ex. That and like X3, I think, was another game that people said I might like.
Oh, original Deus Ex, mate.
Yeah, now,
oh my god.
What did you do for April Fools? Because we just had April Fools, right?
I dressed up as Trixie.
Yeah. Now, you said you weren't going to. I know, because...
I know, but I did it anyway.
Your stream was part of my stream for April Fools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. And then, like, you and I were in chat at the same time talking on the same account. It was pretty funny.
Although I don't think that was noticeable to chat.
No, they didn't know.
No. But yeah, I guess.
Well, just before we go to you, other than that, the only other thing that's going on is just below the stream, I have the gray head shirts.
Oh,
the gray head
head,
shirts
gray
for
head.
sale. So the Ahi life. Ahi life, guys. If you're about that Ahi life, you got to pick up one of those shirts. Now, the goals are really weird. That goal that's showing now is for U.S. people. So I've sold 4 shirts in the U.S. I think I sold 8 shirts in Europe. It won't show the total. I don't know why. But, yeah. Make sure you pick up that shirt, ! Shirt in chat if you want.
If you Google Ahi Ahi Teespring, it's the first.
Yeah, it's the first thing that comes up, and it's just a giant.
I got the gray one.
face.
I got the gray one.
You got a gray one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna at least get 1 tee and 1 hoodie, but I might get 2 tees and 1 hoodie. Is what I'm thinking of.
It's too bad the hoodie doesn't come in gray.
Yeah, I know, right?
Although
makes
it
sense
looks
to get
good in the
gray
blue.
one.
I like it in the blue, in the hoodie.
Yeah, blue looks pretty good too.
But yeah,
Because
pretty cool.
the hoodie's that light blue color. It's
Well,
red. I don't like any red on anything.
Yeah. And the Ahi for the ladies.
Yeah.
Ahi.
Yeah, I sold one of those today. The fall picked one up.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, it's cool. It's my 3rd Teespring campaign, so hopefully I'm able to open like a permanent store after this. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. It's been interesting for me.
Yeah.
For
That
me,
doesn't look like anything like you, Twerk. That doesn't look anything like you, that t-shirt.
I know. He needs to shave the rest of his.
What's crazy is I bet you a lot of people don't have any idea where that's from. I think it's been so long since that video came out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of working on another one, maybe.
Maybe.
Secret. Anyway, sorry, Saurus, I cut you off there. What have you been working on?
Yeah, what's up
all
with you,
good.
Saurus?
So, my April Fool's Day thing, I did a couple things, actually. So, the
I
first
still
thing...
haven't seen the
Okay,
beginning.
so the first thing is I started maybe 20 minutes early, and I just went, and the same way that we show the videos here on the podcast, I just make it full screen and just capture it. So I went to Twerk's previously recorded to his last one, so his April Fool's Day stream of the day. And
Oh my god.
yeah, I started it from the very beginning, from the countdown, from the 10-minute countdown, and just started. I played it for like 45 minutes.
Wow.
I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I just let it do that. I also changed my sub icon to a fish.
To a fish, right?
Yeah, that was in homage to last year's Star Citizen, when we had fish in the hangar. I wasn't sure if they were going to do that again or not. And I also added a crab emote, WTFO crab, in my channel, and that's still there. That'll stay there. And then, okay, so Twerk, you know how this works, and anybody with Deepbot knows how this works. When someone requests a song, it'll play it, and then it plays the next song. And if you type in ! Song, it'll let you know in the channel what is playing. And if you play ! Song list, it'll give you the list. But if you pause that, it won't show the song that's playing, and it won't show the it won't show the song that's playing, and it won't show the song list. So what I did was I just took the volume slider and I put it all the way down, and I let people keep requesting songs, and for like 30 minutes I just rickrolled people. I just had the same song. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I would see the song. Yeah, so I'm seeing the song, but I'm singing along to the song that they think should be playing. Right? So it's like Night at the Roxbury, so I'm doing a little dance and, you know, what is love and everything. Wow. And people are like, what is going on? And I was like, all right, that's enough of that. So that was pretty fun. That was like a last second thing.
That's a good idea, man.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Been playing a fair amount of Star Citizen, getting pretty bored of it. Mostly because for me, a big thing is the interaction with players, and there's not a lot of people playing, number one, and the people who are playing are like hanging out at Olisar or doing, I don't know what they're doing.
I'm in full servers. I don't know what people are doing.
I don't know what people are doing.
Because nobody is at like the most popular places, I would think. Like
no one's
Kovacs,
at anywhere
like
to do anything. So maybe they're just sightseeing or they're new people or whatever.
Yeah.
I had Chromacy over the other day. We have been playing through Mass Effect, and she got me to watch this fucking thing my roommates opened on the TV, and we were watching this anime, Magical Girls or something. It was ridiculous. Anyways, so we played some Mass Effect, streamed some of that, and then I started doing Division lately. So last night I played some Division, and
Nice.
it's getting up there. It's getting a little better. It was super fun. Had a group of people, Goku and Dalton Fury, and who else was there with us? Nikon Gamer, GMFO was with us as well. So that was really fun. Also started raising money for Vive yesterday, and then
Sick.
Dalton was kind enough to say that, hey, when you reach that, we'll do a giveaway on your channel of an LTI Starfarer. So gonna do an LTI
Nice.
Starfarer when we hit that, and then I'm gonna throw something in there as well. I don't know what yet, but it'll be something as big or bigger than that. So that'll be
See, the
pretty cool.
Starfarer is so amazing for prizes, man, because it's basically a giant. It's like a tiny little capital ship, but it's still fucking huge.
Yeah.
It's so big.
What's crazy is that's a small capsize ship.
Well, indeed, I don't like that I'm using capital size to
Yeah.
describe non-ships of war, but
Yeah.
they're describing it as a capital ship as well now. So you know.
Yeah, so been doing that, and then also been looking more into a game called Escape from Tarkov, and
Yeah, that game looks sick.
so
Are you si-
that's something.
You signed up for the beta review.
I'm signed up for the alpha, son. I've pre-ordered it at the highest tier. I suggest everybody to wait and not do that. I'm a streamer or a YouTuber or whatever. It's kind of our job to show you that stuff, and then you can make an informed decision on that, right? So,
Yeah.
to give you an example, this is one of the videos that is pretty recent and shows some of the weapon customization, which is pretty crazy.
This was mind blowing.
Yeah, like just seeing like all the different.
It's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has one of the devs from Stalker series. It has a bunch of military guys that when they were doing the interview, they had to like blur out their face and change their voice. It's like it's being made in Russia, and then they have another web-based game that's a Unity game. Now this is on Unity 5. But they have another web-based game called Contract Wars. That was a free-to-play game that basically made it so they could afford to build this game, and they're making this into a crazy PvP survival combat simulator, I guess is the best way I could put it. So really, really looking forward to that. And sort of Division right now is taking up my time until that's streamable. I think there's going to be an NDA on the alpha at first. So as soon as I can stream it, though, I'm going to be streaming it. I was restreaming their stream in Russian and just sort of hanging out with English people and explaining what the game is and stuff. We had like 600 viewers and stuff. That was that day that you rated me.
Yeah,
we
dude,
ended up
that day
going to
I
like
looked and
600
I
or
was,
700
holy shit,
viewers
he's
or
busy.
something.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm super, super interested in and have been following very closely. If anybody has any questions about that, feel free to hit me up during my stream or whatever.
Like I did a video on the FPS weapons in Star Citizen, and when I talked about the sniper, somebody actually commented in the chat, and I was like 2 weeks ago, and now that you showed me Escape from Tarkov, they were like, I wish the sniper rifle camera thing was more like this. And I was like, now I know where that's from. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that shares. There's a lot of parallels in between the FPS and what they're doing in that game as well. A lot with the animations, with the customization, with the lack of a HUD and no third person and stuff like that as well. So really, really looking forward to that as something else. And in some of the developer diaries, they also had some Oculus Rifts and stuff laying around their office, which is always a good sign, especially when Unity 5 supports it out the gate. And with a game without a HUD, seems pretty cool. But
it does. It looks really cool.
Other than that, just doing some Vandal Swarm carries and fucking around in Star Citizen. Always looking for people to join. So if you need or want to do Vandal Swarm or want to do Squadron Battle or Battle Royale, definitely stop by. My hours haven't changed. I still stream at 1 p.m. Some of my days have been cut short because nobody's playing and there's not really much to do. But I think now instead of cutting them short, I'll just switch over to Division.
I'll definitely be up for some Vandal Swarm and stuff in the future, like doing it in weird ways with weird as quick as possible. And,
yeah, like I did it the other day.
Cool loadouts and challenges and stuff.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do stuff like that, it's good to challenge yourself. Like if you're gonna do stuff you've done 1,000 times, we have to.
Well, for me, it's
in some sort of way, right?
Well, for me, it's more about getting people, the 18 waves, who don't have it, right?
Yeah.
And I've done it so many times. I can talk to my chat, and it's pretty relaxing for me, and I enjoy it still. So,
yeah.
I mean that's a good idea, though. We can go through and be like, okay, we're all going in with Avengers. Or we're all going in with...
We can do that in the PvP as well, I suppose. We can all do Merlins and go, right, all on the same target.
Yeah, and just... Actually, that sounds really awesome.
That actually sounds like a fun idea. I don't know...
Stuff, we've stopped playing it because we got loads of new stuff in Port Olisar, and then we just went, well, that's old now. This is new. And then we've got a bit bored of the new stuff because we haven't looked at the old stuff. We just really focused on, we only want new stuff now. It becomes kind of spoiled for it. Sorry,
yeah,
what were you going to say?
I think that's a really good point. Like, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I played a little bit of Arena Commander today. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, really fun.
I was getting solid 60 FPS the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, I have one issue. Now, I don't know if it's because of the maybe I'm on medium or low and I wasn't paying attention, but I went through. There was a part of my stream today. I should really go back and look at it where I was right next. The server was about to crash, and everybody was frozen, but we can all fly around and look at each other. And I rolled right up to a Hornet, and I was 50 meters away from it. Okay, full LOD. Everything looked great. I rolled back 30 meters to 89 meters. 40 meters to 89 meters, and it changed LODs already. Like the cockpit glass was gone. Okay, then I rolled back another few meters, and the whole back of the ship disappeared. So they're doing all these little tricks to get high FPS, but like when you're 500 meters from a ship, you can't even see it. It's just a dot. Right? So we're getting these great frame rates, but at what cost? And I think it's maybe because I'm on medium.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, so
I want to test that tomorrow.
Very high within a custom user.cfg, I found that I don't have the same issues that a lot of people have with the levels of detail.
Yeah.
The only thing I do have a problem with is oddly still just the grey cat buggy. That has
the wheels. The wheels don't.
Yeah,
and the
wheels just don't
right
show
there.
up.
Gone.
The window and the wheels and the lights.
You have to be next to it to see them for some reason.
Also, it bothers me that I can't turn the lights on the Grey Cat buggy, especially now that they've darkened the VFG industrial hangar. It's like I press O, I want those fucking lights to work.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say to you, actually, both of you. Get yourselves a copy, if you haven't played it, of Pony Island on Steam. Okay? Honestly, this game called Pony Island. Get it, play it in one session. Take you about 3 hours. It is one of the best gaming experiences I've had. I played it with 4 other people around one computer at the LAN I went to in Somnia a few weeks ago. And you will not be sorry. You'll go, am I being trolled by Monkey? No.
That's what I'm
you know
doing
what?
right
no,
now.
you know what?
No,
I'm going to look up. We're going to show the stream right now what this abomination of a game is that you're trying to get us to buy.
Look at the reviews.
It's called Pony Island.
It's built in the Unity engine, and what you're seeing there is not representative of the full horror and joy of the game. It is amazing. It's one of the gaming experiences that you have to play. You're gonna laugh at me because you'll be like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Here, let me get some audio in this.
Oh my god! Oh yeah. Oh man, you're a little pony. You're just a little pony galloping around. It's one of the. It's a clever puzzler. It's very good.
Maybe I'll play this on 420.
This is not a game about ponies. If you want to escape,
it looks like a dinosaur.
You must do as I say.
I don't want to. You have to play it, man. I don't want to spoil it, but it is definitely worth playing. Anyone that plays it through, you will not be sorry. As long as you don't mind puzzler games, as long as you don't mind.
No, I like puzzle games. You know what? You know what? Maybe.
It's great.
Maybe.
You got a solid maybe.
It's great. I'll tell you what. If you buy it and you don't like it, you two, I will give you the money back. If you buy it and don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Well,
yeah.
If I don't like it within 2 hours, I'll just get a refund for it. That's what I did with Adrift.
He just offered us money.
I know he did.
That doesn't happen often. I think we need to play this game.
Thriftbot has been stolen.
I didn't offer you money because you're going to really like it. It's
I'm
really
gonna pretend
good,
like
man.
I don't and just get the money. I'm just kidding.
This is terrible.
This game was terrible.
Yep.
No, but yeah, I'll give it a try. Why not?
Yeah, good man.
Oh man.
Right, sorry, I sidetracked.
We are off the rails.
Yes, what's been happening in the news?
We're talking about ponies.
Well, I guess we were talking about some of the stuff. Now, I have a little Easter egg for you guys. But Twerk, why don't you tell us about April Fool's Day and Star Citizen?
Yeah, so since I think April Fool's was on a Thursday, right? So since the last podcast, the last Redacted podcast, which, by the way, Bored and I weren't on. I hope everybody enjoyed Brickyard Gaming. He's a new Redacted member, super cool, love the guy. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the podcast with Saurus and him. Yeah, I had to work, so sad. But they did an April Fool's joke on us, and we got some Big Benny stuff, which was pretty neat. Everybody wants this stuff badly, like. It's
not a bad
really,
looking skin.
No, it looks really good, and it was supposed to look bad.
And the outfit as well.
Right? Yeah, the outfit's sick.
And the dance
the
goes
hat,
with it. Yeah.
We need to have that hat. They need to sell that hat in that orange, disgusting color.
I think
disgusting.
Pokemon
color.
will sue them if they make that hat. It looks like a retarded derpy Pikachu.
No.
Maybe. But they did the video with the Big Benny teaser. I mean, it was really, really funny. But the thing is like that fucking skin is supposed to look bad, but it looks so good. April Fool's was a Friday. Oh, well, whatever. I thought it was Thursday. April Fool's. I was kidding. But
it's because I bet you anything.
Do you know what they need to make? A Big Benny skin for the fucking buggy too.
Oh yeah, for the grey cat
for deliveries.
But I bet anything they gave that artist like a day or two to come up with that skin, and it's like his first design for it. Yeah, and he just did it, and they had all the assets ready because they've got all the assets already designed, like these decals and stuff. They just dropped them on. It just looks great.
Yeah,
it just looks surprisingly great.
And I know this isn't very effective for YouTube, but Captain Zylo's in the chat. So Captain Zylo's the newest community manager for Star Citizen. So he's popping by the stream saying hello. And he also just mentioned, all I can say is your voices have been heard about the skin. We'll see. So if you guys want to congratulate Zylo, you can give him some claps in the chat or say hello or
give him the clap.
Zylo. Woo!
Zylo, I love you so much. I'm going to give you the clap.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Give him the clap, guys. Give him the clap in the chat.
Did you also see the green screen video that was?
Yes. That was awesome.
So now I'm gonna go on to the thing that I don't think you guys know about. So if you scroll all the way down where it says Miss Reliant Big Benny variant, it's $50 USD in stock, and there's a buy now button. If you click the buy now button, it pops up that video, and you'll also notice now. Now, I'm not going to show it right away, but I'll switch my scenes real quick. If you go to your account and then go to profile, and I'll show you guys this now, and go down to your display title, I have my MVP showing, but there's one that's called Fooled and a little Benny logo.
So I didn't know that it gave you an achieve.
That's sick.
So if you don't have that, go and do that because it's free. And I'm sure it'll be a limited thing. It's still there, but get on it while you still can.
Awesome.
Oh, Saurus, thank you.
I don't have an MVP badge.
One day.
Got a fooled one though, mate.
I got fooled though.
You got fooled. You got fooled. Yeah.
It's rarer to not have an MVP badge now. Now, Twerk.
Right.
Well, it's rare on this podcast because you two have it. I just make shit content. It's pretty obvious. That's why.
Oh,
Twerk.
guys.
I'm not exactly going to get an MVP badge for drawing a penis on a freelancer. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not going to
There you
happen.
go, guys. Here you go.
This
is appropriate.
This week's MVP is Twerk17 for his penis skin for the Reliance.
April Fools.
Yeah, but did any of you guys get on the BBC Click show?
Oh no, mate. No,
No,
mate.
you didn't.
I did not.
No.
One day.
Yeah, one day I'll be a international superstar like Twerk17.
That's right.
Oh my God,
Worldwide.
yeah.
BBC Click worldwide. It said worldwide at the bottom. It's pretty crazy.
You'd say worldwide.
Buyback tokens.
Yes. So buyback tokens are officially here as of April 1st. So if you used yours last time, you now have another one. I know I didn't use mine because there actually wasn't any ships that I wanted to buy back. And I think the only ship that there's two ships that I melted was the Cutlass and the Delta. And maybe the Delta one day, but Cutlass for now, no. But as of April 1st, buyback tokens are in your hangar. How you get to them is you go to my hangar, and there's a little button that says buyback pledges. Yeah, and just remember, if you do buy back, I don't. The buyback tokens are not tradable, and if you do buy back, that ship is not tradable. So if you never use buyback token from the first time, you don't get two. You get one. So it won't refresh. It'll just be you still have one.
I have 2 pages of buybacks. At the very
Really?
top, sitting that Vandal Glaive. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can't buy that one back, though. No
350R. Wow.
Yeah.
So many.
I have
they
the
do add-ons and stuff?
Yeah, VFG Industrial Hangar. I have my original Cutlass. Hornet Ghost, MR
Sick.
Plus. So this MR Plus will have both Alpha or Squadron 42 and so all these packages will.
So if you buy it back, you get your original package. Cool.
Yep. So if it had
you can buy back
LTI,
your
you get
original Alpha
LTI back. If it had Squadron 42 included in it, then you get Squadron 42 back.
That's good to know. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. But yeah, so those are in your hangar now. So if there's any ships that you want to buy back, I mean, like there's people, we were talking about this before the podcast, that there's people that melted, 890 jumps that can unmelt them for the cost, and then like those things are the rare ship in game at the moment, which is pretty. That's pretty.
Now
wild.
something I wanna mention.
Constellation Phoenix, I think we discussed earlier, was probably the rarest game, shipping game.
Oh, I might have been in the bathroom. I thought it was the 890 because
I thought it was the 890 as well, but Proxus corrected me.
Oh, is that what? Maybe I wasn't listening as well. Not bad.
With the buyback pledges, they are not tradable. Okay, so
so you can't like buy that ship back and then sell it.
But fun fact, anything you buy back with cash is tradable. So I've done that a couple times. I had 2 Warlock LTIs sitting in there, and I bought them with cash, and I gave them away because they're tradable once you buy them with cash. So that Vandal Glaive is just sitting there, and if people express enough interest in wanting me to do a big giveaway for that, then I could do that.
We haven't gone round the persistent universe with the EMP, really, have we, in a group?
You can't EMP right now.
Can you not EMP right now? Okay.
Oh. You can't use it. I don't know why. There's something wrong with the Warlock. You can only use your Group 1 weapons. Can't use your Group 2 for some reason.
Well,
every time a new patch comes out, a few people come in the chat and say, does the Warlock EMP work? Nope. I haven't heard much about it. Maybe there's something I don't know, but I've tried it. I have a Warlock, and I haven't taken it out for a spin in a while because each patch I try it still doesn't work.
It's a shame. It's such a shame. Yeah. That's such a cool little idea for a mechanic, and it was looking all right, and what a shame.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get fixed. It'll get fixed.
I mean, it was fun gameplay. It was hard to do, but it was fun when it worked. So speaking of the persistent universe that we have, we're going to talk a little bit about persistence. I think we've talked about persistence for a few months now, but
I love me some persistence.
Yeah, we all want it. And the big thing was an update on ATV in Texas is that it's in their dev stream now. So the stuff that they're working on, they have persistence in their builds, which is great. And like Jake Ross said, they can't go back. There's no turning back from it now. So they have it, and here it is.
It's important to say this is stage 1 implementation of persistence.
Yes.
Stage 22! Don't believe their lies!
Every patch we get will have another stage of persistence, basically. In it.
Yeah, they'll add a few things to it.
Yeah. It's very early stages yet. And we're going to... There's a possibility that I think Todd's going to go through in a second of lots of different features, some of which we're going to get with the first rollout. But we're not entirely sure which ones.
Yeah, so I think what we do know is that from the original discussions of persistence, we're going to be getting more than what we expected, right?
Yeah.
So they're talking about us maybe able to move things around in our hangar a little bit.
Well, they said that
Might
all
be
the hangars are
in
going
the
to
next
work.
one?
Well, they said all the hangars work differently from back
Yeah.
end straight away. So I'm assuming you're right with that as well. That we're going to be able to change the hangars from the menu. From the main menu, we're going to be able to move our ships around from the main menu or in our hangars, and we won't need to go on the website anymore.
Which is great.
Which is
because
what they want to do.
Being able to do that on the fly is so cool because I don't know if you guys have shown it off on stream or in any YouTube videos yet, but like the AeroView hangar got an upgrade, and it is awesome looking, like awesome, and maybe is almost able to fit a Starfarer. We're kind of looking around. The ceiling seems a little higher. I think it can fit.
They can fit.
So,
I know they can in the Revel in York. Anyways, I don't know if they can fit outside
obviously.
the door, but I had that. No, well, I had a bug in the Revel in York when it was in the
where it
main
was in
room.
the main?
Yeah, it was in the main room.
Oh, wow.
And the only thing that was
Yeah,
in
so
the way
so
were
did I.
the little boxes, and they could just
Got the
remove
same
those
bug.
assets and it'd be fine. So
Yeah.
um,
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
I just
it
don't know if
feels
the
like
doors
it
are
could
big
fit,
enough.
which would be pretty cool. But yeah, so like we're gonna get a little bit of customization now. One thing that I think they said on either the Chris Roberts live stream or on RTV, I cannot remember for the life of me right now, but they mentioned that our hangars maybe not having as much functionality as they used to have, or maybe not. We might not have as many ships in hangars, so they might not be like that huge long hallway in the AeroView hangar or Revel in York. I mean, in kind of how I see it is maybe 1 or 2 ships.
The other thing that I see is segmenting it into the room systems, right?
Yes,
So
like are they doing the rooms?
yeah, they're
I
still
haven't
doing
heard
it.
any-
They just haven't really talked.
It's just
about
not
it
a priority at
yeah,
the moment,
it's
which
not
is
priority for
Okay.
Squadron 42, right? Why would it be a priority? It wouldn't be.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
your hangars won't. I don't think will exist as they are now. That'll be after
No.
Squadron 42. Now there's something here in your point forms about the persistent stuff that you don't have that I'm pretty sure is in the first implementation of that. And
Go for it.
that's ship damage, ballistic weapons, and missiles. So whatever you use, whenever you die, you won't just automatically respawn with a fixed ship and all this stuff. So I don't know how it's going to work if you blow up your ship completely. Maybe it'll repair it to the barest minimum for you to get to a repair station to go and repair it.
I think it might say that you can't use that ship for a certain period of time.
That would be That would be cool. Like maybe you can come back tomorrow and use it.
That would be
So
okay for people like myself who have all of the ships available.
What if you have one ship?
What if you have one ship?
That's a
you
good
could probably
point.
you'd probably get a loaner ship. They'll be like, anyone can fly the Aurora MR.
Oh yeah, you know what? That would make sense because with insurance, you would get a loaner vehicle. So maybe they would just loan you. So if you blew up your Hornet, sorry, bud, now you have an MR.
Yeah, you
which
get your
would
choice
be
between an MR or an Alpha.
which would be good and bad. It would be bad because it would prevent people from taking more risks than they normally would. But it would be good because people would start to see the value in not doing those things necessarily.
Yeah.
So I think we would see Korea even more dead. I think we would only see people
Well,
playing things safe.
you say this, but there's lots of stuff that persistence can do that make doing things getting achieved to your account. We might be able to build up the Alpha UEC. We might be able to start getting things onto our account that doing missions and going to Korea and having criminal level will actually now influence and persist on our accounts.
I mean, how about this? The ICC missions, because you just mentioned Alpha UEC, and I mean, we might want to, discuss that a little bit too. I'm sure you discussed it on last week's podcast, but just talk about it again because it's really important. But that takes like the ICC missions that we've done, so many times, and actually makes them
even that
worth
Kovalex
doing.
mission. Yeah.
Yeah. The Kovalex mission now, like fully doing the Kovalex mission, and all sorts of missions in game. That's going to be things that happen often. So people are going to be, I feel like Alisar and Crusader is going to feel alive because they're going to be doing things like that constantly. There's going to be people doing those missions. There's going to be now. What concerns me a little bit is that there'll be less people at Korea unless there's something to do at Korea. There'll be less people, maybe at Kovalex. I don't know. So it should be interesting. I know that. So let's talk about Alpha UEC a little bit. Just in case people haven't heard of it yet.
It's a temporary currency.
UEC. It's temporary currency. It is not UEC. So the UEC that you got for, when they drop some extra UEC into your account, or when you bought ships and you had UEC for that stays. That is, or if you bought UEC or whatever, that is UEC. That is stuff for when the game comes out. Alpha UEC is going to be the currency that's within Crusader. We're going to have it for quite a while, probably.
But it will act the same as UEC will in the final game, though.
Yeah,
so
when the game comes out, this is what the currency will be like. This is how it will act. This is how you will earn it. All that stuff. But it's just not the real UEC that you can start building now for when the game comes out.
Yeah, it gets wiped, basically. That will be wiped before the main
that way
game
that way they can wipe at every patch, and they don't have to worry about it. They can give everybody the same amount at the beginning.
Yeah,
because
we're going to find exploits. We're going to find exploits.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to wipe those and figure them out, because that's what we're going to try and do, obviously, right? Because that's the whole point of testing, is to find the exploits so they can remove them before the game comes out.
We just have to find that one that makes us billions of UEC off stream.
Yeah. So with that, which kind of actually is going into what Saurus had mentioned, is that at Alisar they had mentioned putting in shops. So this is where it kind of goes into shopping and getting a little bit more than what we had expected with Persistence, is that they're going to put shops into Port Alisar. I don't know if we're going to get this in 2.4. It would be cool, but we're going to be able to buy weapons. We're going to be able to buy. I think we're going to be able to buy weapons, ships, components.
So they've already said what we're going to be able to buy.
Okay, maybe I missed that.
You missed it because it was Matt Sherman in my channel. So
okay, cool.
It's going to be weapons. It's going to be clothing.
Makes sense.
And it's going to be armor.
Okay, so no ships, no ship weapons or weapons, FPS weapons.
What just said weapons, but I imagine FPS weapons.
Okay.
I mean, that would make the most sense, is doing the FPS stuff first and getting that.
Yep.
Sort of done, because those are smaller, easier to attribute to whatever, because there's no way to equip ship weapons on your ship without then logging out and going into your
or whatever
holo table and then doing it all that way. So until they start to bring in which is another thing they're going to do, is start bringing in the hangars. And I think it'll probably be the asteroid hangar first, because that makes the most sense. It doesn't really need to be planet side. I don't think that'll come in 2.4, but eventually, whenever that comes in, you won't have a loading screen going from your hangar to Alisar. You'll just fly out into Alisar.
What shop do we think's going to be selling the armor?
One that
going to be
doesn't
Cubby
exist.
Blast? I feel like it would have to be
maybe?
Cubby Blast. It's definitely not going to be Kasaba Outlet,
It might
So
be,
you would have to think it'd be Cubby Blast.
It could be a new one that we haven't seen yet. You know that one area in the back of Area 18 or whatever? If you go to the back, the Galleria, where it's under construction, it could be a store back there.
It could even be a shopping experience from Port Olisar, because they have been talking about that.
It could be that as well.
Now, going into that, so we're going to get more than Kasaba Outlet, right? So we're kind of guessing now of what we're going to get. I mean, I personally think it's going to be Cubby Blast, and I honestly thought it would be maybe the ship buying place, but maybe not. So with that said, do you guys think that, again, this goes into what's priority? Do you guys think that they're removing priority from those landing zones and going more into the Crusader stuff and saying, we want to put those experiences in ArcCorp, but it's better suited here.
Now, before you go any further,
impression.
I don't want to cut you up, but Matt Sherman actually is in the channel right now, and he's saying that it was unlikely it was him who commented. I thought it was. I could have been mistaken. It could have been one of the other guys who've come in. I've just seen a lot of Matt Sherman lately, so but it may be one of the other guys. I'm not 100% on who it was, but I remember it was those three things.
Okay.
And now that's all. That doesn't mean that that's what we're getting or anything.
No,
right? Well, no, it's true.
Even
none of this means anything.
Like a month ago, like Luke Presley came in and said, you're going to be able to get those weapons a different way in 2.4. I mean, that was like way before. Like we still don't even know what's going to be in 2.4, and they still
YouTube money, mate. That's what we're getting them with. That YouTube money.
Yeah, because all those commercials they play.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think they're taking away assets from the landing zones. See, I think that if they add any more assets to those landing zones, the vision of them and the way they want them done will get corrupted and blurred. There's only so many assets you can put on any one thing.
I think what I'm trying to say, are they not taking assets away, but are they not assets away? People that are working on those things, like are they removing focus from the landing zones? Like,
no,
maybe we're not going to see Nyx for a long time because they're
I don't think so
taking
I think
those shops and putting them into Olisar.
Anything they're putting into Olisar or to ArcCorp at the moment, I think only aids them doing the other stuff. That it's all adding to like the modular way that they're going to build stuff, and it all adds to the ideas. I mean, they haven't finalized any of this stuff yet, so they need to get it tested by us to go, no, that doesn't work, or look at this holo table, it's wank. There's loads of stuff that's going to need to be ironed out or possibly even totally reworked. And this is where the Star Citizen differs from Squadron 42, is that they have the time to be able to rework this stuff until it's not shit. But Squadron 42 stuff, that needs to go out this year.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
definitely. So shops aren't necessarily the most important things. But yeah, I mean, I think 2.4 seems like... I think we said this about 2.3, and I think we're probably going to say this about every patch, but 2.4 seems like a really exciting patch where content drop is going to be pretty large as far as unique things, and once persistence comes in, everything changes, I think. Once you logged out of your game and you come back and you're in the same shape, in the same situation that you were in when you I think that's one of the most important things.
When choices actually matter.
Exactly. Like, I can be a dick
when choices
all the time.
mean things.
Yeah, like, I'm a dick all the time in Crusader. All the time. But when persistence comes in, I don't want to be a pirate all the time. I don't want, like, you know what I mean? I would probably switch my gameplay style quite a bit.
I'm hoping
like right now I just grab a sniper and kill people. Yeah. Definitely.
I'm going to continue to still be an asshole. But I'm just hoping it'll make it harder for me to be an asshole.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that the choices that people make at certain places as well, like blowing up ships and things like that are just landed, those choices are going to matter too, because that actually really does kind of make the gameplay kind of not as enjoyable right now because of some of the choices that people make, right? So hopefully that will come in.
You know what? Maybe it was Dave who gave me all that information.
It was probably Dave.
Probably
just blame Dave.
Yeah. Probably Dave.
Blame Dave. I keep trying to make that a thing, and nobody wants it to be a thing. It's pretty terrible.
We'll make it a thing.
So I'm going to stop soon, I think. Lore Maker's Guide to the Galaxy came out. Now, a lot of people said to skip this when I went to watch it on stream, and I did. But when I went to look back at it, while... Will is not maybe the best on-camera guy for this type of stuff compared to Sherry, or the other guy's name is escaping me with the glasses.
Is they put Sherry on first,
yeah,
and she was fucking amazing,
and nobody can compare to her.
No one can compare to that. Have the shit guys up first to set the bar, and then have the great people on occasion, and you go, "Oh, that was really fucking good."
Yeah, I wouldn't say they did a bad job though.
Sorry, yeah.
He didn't do a bad job, but a lot of people were like, no, don't watch it. It's boring. But
I haven't seen it.
My opinion
Okay.
of the entire thing is, I think that it needs to be its own show. I think that it's a long enough segment that it needs to be separated and sort of put into its own thing, so people can search what that lore is for. Especially like when I watch Around the Verse, and we watch it together as a group on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
We're mostly looking for information on the development of the game and how the assets are coming along and how the features are coming along and stuff like that. Myself personally, I'm not a lore person. I'm never gonna be, or like, I'll learn the lore to what is advantageous to me, but I'm not someone who just that's just not me, right? And I know a lot of people feel the same way. Not everybody does, but I think that I think that it is interesting enough and it's long enough to merit its own show, right? Like when you look at this, it's almost 15-20 minutes on its own. And so it's making Around the Verse like an hour long, which is really long. And if you know anything about YouTube videos, like Bored does, I do, Twerk does, the longer your video is...
I don't know shit about YouTube.
Well, you know enough that if you have an hour-long video, not everybody's going to sit through and watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
Right? So if the shorter it is, the better it's going to be received. And not to say that
That's
it won't
what she said.
I think that it would be... I think these kind of things, while also learnable in-game, and through this map that we'll have in-game and everything as well, having these as videos that people can just put on while they're, doing the dishes or just hanging out, whatever, or just those lore heads, the people who really, really love the lore, it would be good for them. They can search and say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Use the keywords of all the different planets and everything, and then you can just go here and watch it.
I kind of agree. Now the reason that I think it was a good idea to kind of discuss this on the podcast is I think while the delivery wasn't the best in the world, the information was really, really interesting and really, really important because it was all about the Tavaran, and we don't know much about the Tavaran. So he went on for quite a while, and we got to learn a lot about the Tavaran without having to do much searching for it, whereas right now you have to do quite a bit.
I think they should slightly redo this segment, okay? First off, get rid of the guy on camera, okay? Just have his voice. We're looking specifically...
Because you're a YouTuber, yeah.
We're specifically looking information about the verse and about planets and systems and stuff, and he's obscuring some of that. So... But then they could do some cool little HUD around it. They could have different information coming up that they put there themselves, and they could just talk about it. And then he doesn't need to do everything live. He can record it so it's significantly, but they can record it so it's significantantly better. Like
you're looking at it as a YouTuber though, but you have to look. But I agree.
I'm looking at it to make it more presentable for other people to do. So if someone's not particularly great at presenting, then they can because I'm really erratic normally. So like on streams, I'm like all over the place, which probably some people might find amusing. But on YouTube, I can organize it and manage it. I can go, well, there's going to be a cut there. I'll do 2 minutes solid, then cut, then the next 2 minutes. I don't have to worry about going, what am I doing now, or anything like that. Whereas this, where he's doing it straight to the camera, that's amazing skill. Being able to do that straight to the camera, regurgitating the information as you're seeing it. That's because he knows so much. But a lot of people don't have the presentation style to pull that off.
That's fine. I agree, but I also disagree because this is Star Citizen, and part of doing things for Star Citizen, part of making content for Star Citizen, is it's not always just like, while we just look at the content, it's not always just about the content. It's actually getting to know the person that's sitting there, that dev, and what they're talking about. Like,
while
you're saying this about Will, because maybe Will wasn't the best presenter for this, how much did you love Sherry when she was on? Now that I'm watching it, that's what it is.
I actually quite like this because it feels real. I really like raw, real videos. I really like this.
So having the person on there, you get to, like, while he might have been nervous, maybe the next one he gets to show more personality. That's what this is all about. Like, we get to know these people that are making the game. That's part of the process about the game. That's great, So
yeah,
I agree, but at the same time, with another game with Star Citizen, I think it's important that they always have those people on there so we get to know them, and that's important. Yeah. So
Moving forward on to cargo.
But yeah, the most important thing is that it's about the Devarin. So if you want to learn about the Devarin, that's probably the best way to do it. So cargo. With persistence, they're starting to get to the point where shopping, and with that, we're gonna have to put shit in our ships, stuff in our ships. So that will probably be the first official job in Star System. We've talked about this quite a bit, but what do we think will be moving around? Do we think it'll just be stuff that we buy, or is it going to be loot we've
talked about this before. I think it's going to be the loot. I mean, I think it's quite easy to do a simple loot system where pirates will drop stuff. I think we're going to be able to pick up that stuff. That's the part that I can't comprehend. How do we get it in our ship? The way that we're getting cargo in our ship now, like the Big Benny's machine, just pushing it. Like how is it going to work? I think for some people, we'll be pushing it. I think we will be able to push probably a bit better as well. But I think they'll implement tractor beams.
Yeah.
I think there might be they'll probably think of some other.
There may be something that when you go over to it and touch it, it may just automatically appear in your ship.
Yeah.
Right. Like it just might appear. It just might teleport for the first implementation.
For the time being.
Right. Until they get those other things in and teleport. So when you land, maybe you can't pick them up from Rex. Maybe you can only pick it up when you're parked, and it's an option, right? Like a keybind, and they can either do some sort of NPC animation, or like of them carrying it in, or it just appears in your ship. If somebody blows up your ship, then it automatically appears in their cargo hold, and then if you land wherever it needs to go, then it goes out.
And it could be smaller items. I mean, it could be stuff that you could just grab by hand. So it might be like a size 1 gun or a barrel or something which you interact with and then place.
Yeah.
It'd be simple as that. I mean, there's loads of ways they could do it.
It could be Benny's machines.
Could be Benny's machines, yeah.
What if all the cargo is Benny's machines?
Now we know with they've mentioned they want these like hover pallets, right? So it's not like you're pushing it against friction. So if they put it on a hover pallet thing and it goes in your ship and then you turn it off, and that's what the use button is. It turns on the hover pallet, turns off the hover pallet.
Yeah, maybe in the last implementation. I mean, what I'm really asking is, if we get this in 2.4, how the hell is it going to work? What the hell are we going to be doing with it? So I don't think necessarily we're going to get it in 2.4 because we haven't heard anything about it. I don't
think we're going to be honest.
Me neither.
I want to land in my ship.
Initial versions of grabby hands before.
I want to land in my ship after I've looted loads of pirates and players. I want to land back at Port Olisar, and I want to hear ching 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 ching. All my loot's being sold. That's what I want. That's the first implementation. Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to do stuff like that. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
Just and then it'll stay. That money that I earned will stay for however long it does. So the work I put in was worth it.
Alpha UEC, mate. We're gonna like, how much Alpha UEC have you got? 2 million, mate. Oh
yeah.
God, rich mate.
I'd be like, oh yeah, I got 2 million and one. Get wrecked. But so speaking of that, I'm sure we're probably gonna do it with our Starfarers. So hold on, I have to sneeze. But the larger ships right now, you're getting a Starfarer as a loaner.
Yeah.
There it is.
And that's a good point as well, actually, Twerk. Aren't we going to get the refueling mechanic if the Starfarer is flyable in 2.4?
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
Not necessarily. No? Maybe not with the first implementation. Like, I mean, I would like to think that would happen, but we don't even see it. The arm in our hangar. So,
okay.
I don't know. But that's another thing that probably is going to persist is your fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be part of the whole ship persistence of your settings, the damage state, the amount of fuel, the amount of ammunition.
That's going to be a lot harder to be a level 5 criminal now, if you've got a certain amount of quantum fuel.
Dude, it's already super hard. It's super hard.
You guys are doing it all wrong.
How are you doing it? Are you doing it the one ship at a time?
Yeah. Spider, mate.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to last.
No.
But even so, the frame rates are super low, so it's hard. Like I was getting 10 frames a second doing that, the one ship at a time, and it took forever to kill. And then people were coming in and shooting at me. It was, yeah. But speaking of people shooting at you, this is a good segue to shooting players in ships. Something that we've needed for a long time.
In my,
go ahead.
In my opinion, it needs to be in before the Starfarer comes in.
Or at the same time, yeah.
Or at the same, yeah, at the same time.
Yeah. Because it would be so fun to go into people's Starfarers because of the way the Starfarer is laid out. Dude, it's defendable. That ship is defendable. It's crazy. So I don't think it's going to be in because how it was described was it's becoming a topic of conversation and they're trying to figure out how to resolve that issue of how it is now. So I don't think it's going to be in 2.4. So while I agree with your opinion, unfortunately, I think we're just going to be flying around in our giant ship for right now. But how important is this? Like, this is everything to me personally. Not because I want to jump on people's ships and kill them, but because I want people to try. I want to be going around doing my business, handling my business, making money, and people trying to come in and ruin my fun. And defend it, you know?
Ruin it.
So, yeah, try and ruin it. Ruin everything, right? But how important is this to you guys as far as, like, the level of priority? Board and Saurus?
It's high up on priority for me. I think there's no point.
Almost number one.
Yeah, I think it's more important than getting the Starfarer in.
It's as important. I mean, it's needed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not absolutely essential, but as soon as we have large ships like the Starfarer. Oh, we've got the Constellation as well. Yeah, it's essential. It's
and
essential.
The Freelancer and the Vanguard and any ship you can walk. The Avenger.
Yeah,
I probably would have killed most people in an Avenger. A Cutlass.
It literally removes some of our gameplay not having it. I mean, that's a big part of gameplay that we can have sneaking around on people's ships.
Even if they make just the pilot invincible, right? When you're in that seat. That would be okay with that. Because I know they need to figure out the one-shot kills of the pilot.
Yeah, because what happens? Because right now, if you kill the pilot, the ship will probably just explode, right?
Well, so what happens now is you can't one-shot the pilot because they're invincible, so only the ship takes the damage. But before, what was happening is people were doing damage to the cockpit like twice in a row.
You'd hit the pilot,
and you'd hit the pilot, and the pilot would die. And then that would be it. Then the ship would just be there, and it would despawn.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I think it's super important for me, and I really hope it gets in soon, because when you start bringing it now, like how they're starting to bring in the non-combat stuff, you still need to have that ability to ruin that, I guess, is to go in and then you have that cat and mouse game. And if you have a giant ship like the Starfarer, I can only imagine the amount of time that it's going to take down that ship.
Mm-hmm.
But going inside and taking out the pilots or whatever is going to be a whole nother thing that'll make it, I think, a lot more fun and more complicated. And there's tactics. I don't know. It's just something that I really want to see in game soon, and I'm really happy that they're discussing it. So I don't know when it'll be, but it's good to hear that it's something that's discussed. Now, Board, I don't know if you were here when this came up.
I will be back momentarily.
Oh, okay. I needed you for this one, but when he comes back, I guess we'll talk about the Misk Miner while he's gone, because he don't care about that, and we do.
The Prospector.
Yes. So this is basically an update to it, because they've talked about it for a bit now, but the new name, or the name, is the Prospector for right now. We know it's going to be a one-seater. We think it's going to be our next concept ship. And it will likely be on sale at the end of April. And that's all from RTV this week. Mm-hmm. Now, I had a little discussion with Proxus this afternoon, and he's a little bummed out about it, because he kind of feels that CIG maybe shouldn't be making smaller specialized ships. Like, the specialization ships are kind of for the larger guys. Like, here's this huge mining ship. This is for you. And now, a few RTVs ago, they kind of talked about the Mist Prospector being not just a miner, but also maybe having a module for like they kind of hinted at it. They didn't say it outright, but they made me assume it, I guess, is that there might be a little module for something like salvaging. So it might not be necessarily just a mining ship. It might be
So
a ship that has multiple roles.
I mean, it's got the name Prospector, yeah.
Yeah, so it must be a miner.
Well, it suggests to me that it's a miner, but also it's going to be able to be seeking out the loot and be able to get around those asteroids to find out and to prospect what's on them. So you might want a fleet, a few of them with your Orion, just literally searching the asteroids, going, "This one's good."
I never looked at it that way.
I mean, they're prospectors. You want to team with them. They're doing stuff in an asteroid field.
Yeah, like, here's the rare stuff. Bring the Orion over.
Yeah.
Let's
now,
ruin this thing.
Do we know that it's a MISC for sure?
100%. Yeah, 100%. We know. Yep. MISC Prospector.
Because as soon as you said multiple roles, I was like, yeah, that's the Prospector is probably going to be a small mining ship with multiple uses. You can mine in it solo if you want, but it's going to be useful in the fleet, I'm sure, with other miners.
But like I said, they kind of made it seem like it was going to be modular as well, to not just mine.
It's MISC.
Maybe to do something like salvage.
Salvage.
Or something.
Yeah.
Would be something I could see those two overlap quite a bit.
Yeah. So we'll see, but the I don't know, I'm really excited for that ship because obviously I'm a miner and can't wait. But the thing that I was looking for was waiting for you to come back for, Saurus, was we had looked at the subvault a little bit and got super excited. So I kind of wanted to talk about that and take a look at today's subvault, which I think popped up like maybe an hour or two ago. So cool.
So we're gonna start with
these pictures.
We'll take one thing at a time here.
Do me a favor, describe it because I can't see them when
the UEE Idris Gravity Core. And this is revision 1. I'll do them in order. So if you want to look and
I'll follow along that way.
Have things. This really isn't that exciting to me. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but we know what the gravity generators generally look like. We know what they're the orbs with that tech-looking stuff, and it'll be all electric-looking and hover and rotate and do this weird gyroscopic motion. Neat still. It's cool to see the scale, which is exactly how we saw it in the Starfarer. It's how we saw it in Gold Horizon as well, back when we could hack it in. But, I mean, it's cool. We know that this is what the gravity generator for the Idris is going to be. Something that is interesting is where you turn it on and off isn't on this side of the rail. It's actually on the inside, where all the other ones, we've seen it on the outside of a safety rail. So this, you can see, you can go in.
Yeah, you can go in and play with it, maybe.
Right, close to it. And I'm sure that'll cause,
How do the gravity generators work? I can't imagine something like that generating
when it's
gravity.
Turned off.
Yeah.
Too. Where does it sit? I'm confused. Does it sit on the bottom?
I think it's obviously there's some sci-fi space nonsense magic going on.
Okay,
but I imagine they use it. Let's just say it acts the same as a core of a planet. There's some sort of material on the inside.
Everyone would get. The gravity would be towards the center of that.
No, but they can transfer it. They can transfer it through the electrical systems, which all run through the floor.
Ah, yeah, it just makes shoes really heavy. Yes, I understand.
Right. So there's more gravity by your feet than there is by your head.
Yeah. Got a really floaty head.
So here we have the Idris. This looks like the front. And we see there's the this plasma shield thing, and we've sort of seen it before on Gold Horizon, once again with the Redeemer flying through it. But this is something that I think they're gonna have this, especially with the hangars and stuff as well. This is another sci-fi tech fancy thing that you can go in and out that prevents atmosphere from leaking out or space vacuum from coming in and sucking everything out. So think of it as a mixture in between a liquid and a gas that prevents that from happening. kind of like a if you were to have like a bubble thing, like if you know when you blow bubbles and you dip the little ring thing in, if you were to fly through that and it was to reconnect behind you, I think is sort of the thing they're going with that. Now this next image is a ship weapon. It's gonna load. Oh, twerk. You just loaded for a second.
I just what?
You just loaded. You're good now.
Okay.
We have the A&R Armaments Plasma Shotgun Ship Weapon. This is a size 3. Ammon and Reese. We can see the date is March 16th, 2016, and this is the first pass on this. And this
Which
looks
is
like...
crazy, because this week's Send for the Chairman, he said he had no idea about a shotgun weapon.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally exactly what he's talking about, and it's from March 16th.
This is a plasma shotgun. So, yeah, this is I mean, it's pretty cool. We'll see. I imagine it's going to have a low fire rate, and it'll be similar to what we see the plasma cannons on the Vandal ships. Or maybe some of that similar tech. I don't know too much lore behind A&R, but it wouldn't surprise me if they tried replicating Vandal tech, because that's what they are. They're plasma cannons or plasma shotguns as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I kind of like the look of it. I don't know why.
that's just very cool. Now
It's
this
cool looking, because you know it's going to come back a little bit.
is
cool.
my favorite.
Yeah.
This is my favorite image of the entire thing.
Yeah, this one's sick.
If it wants to load, that would be fantastic. There we go. So the P8 and its variants. So this looks like it's going to be a modular weapon where the receiver is the same for all the weapons, and then the receiver trigger handle, and then the barrel will be interchangeable where the magazine goes, and the firing mechanism and all of that will change. But this is the P8 SG, also known as a 12-gauge shotgun. We have the P8 SR, which is a SR probably stands for sniper rifle, which is a 50 cal, which is
That's the one I'm looking at.
Very cool weapon. We have a P8 DMR. If you know what a DMR, it's kind of like a medium range sniper rifle, or longer range.
It's a marksman rifle.
Yeah. Then we have the LMG P8, which is a 7. The DMR and the LMG are both 7.62. Then we have two variants of the P8 AR assault rifle. One is a 5.56 and one's a 7.62. A little bit different in the stocks in the back, which is pretty cool. Then we have a P8 SC, which is maybe short combat, or I don't know what SC stands for, but it looks like
SC stands for Star Citizen.
Yeah. Subcompact, maybe?
Yeah, it'll be something compact, subcompact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got as combat or
And
something.
then we have the P8P, which would be the pup, I believe, but it's like a Mac 10. So these last two are both 10 millimeters, 7.62, 5.56, 7.62, 7.62, 50 cal, and 12 gauge. Very cool. We don't know anything about the ammunition types, or if they have different types of ammunition for them, swappable or whatever. But all in all, very cool. Very, very cool.
Super cool. I mean, what's cool is I think what's coolest is that they're designing it where they're sort of similar looking, where I feel like they can make these weapons and they can pump them out very quickly, and we'll probably have them in game relatively quickly, and maybe all together. It might just be here you go. Here's the lineup. Here's the P lineup from Bearing or whatever, So I think that'll be really cool. I mean, my favorite's the sniper. I think I just like snipers. I don't know. I always have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
I think you said you like the DMR, right?
I like the assault rifle the most.
The assault rifle the most?
Yeah.
What about you, Bor?
AR.
I mean, I'd happily dual wield the pups, mate. Mac 10s.
Dual wielding? I don't know. Can we dual wield yet?
Pop.
That'd be sick when we can.
I want to dual wield the rail cannon.
Yeah. Oh
It's so
yeah,
good.
Our
that is gonna be
next
sick.
image is of the new rail system. I don't know why this is taking so long. I think my download speed is being
Yeah,
wonky
because
for one
yeah, it's even
reason or
showing up
another.
on our webcams because it's both board and eye, so
Yeah,
it's looking like your download.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe Starts as
All
it's
good.
downloading something, or it's Steam's downloading something in the background.
But yeah, this what we're about to show you is still more work in progress on the railgun, which
Yeah,
is
so
like
this is sort of the
the
rail
most
design.
exciting.
So what type of rail design they want to go with.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see here, right along this spot here, and here, this is obviously a lot more pronounced than this, but this would have more. See where these only have 4 more teeth to go back? This has like 8. Excuse me. Or they could have a sliding mechanism like this, or they could have something else like this. So, very interesting. Shows it from the side profile as well. And then 2 images left. This one is the Apocalypse Arms Scourge Railgun, which it shows you what it's going to look like on your shoulder. Obviously, that handle right there is where you're going to hold it with your left hand, and your right hand, you'll have it held like a normal pistol. I imagine the charge time on this is going to be something,
Insane.
something ridiculous. And
I just can't wait to knock out my first ship with that thing.
Oh my god, yeah. Sniper
Yeah.
pilot. Poof.
then we
It's gonna be
have
sick.
the Drake Herald work in progress that is being worked on right now by Josh Coons and Chris Smith in Austin. It kind of looks like a blood engorged tick.
Now I thought when they said that they were gonna see some more art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is necessarily it. They had mentioned on RTV that we're gonna see some new concepts of the Herald. I don't think these are it. I still have a feeling like it's gonna be asymmetrical, but it's good to see that they're still kind of taking a peek at it. But it does look like a tick.
Yeah, so that is that right there. And then the last one is just the Herald, which we saw in the other photos there. Very cool, though. And now I'm going to try and see what's going on with my internet.
And I'll keep going here.
I think I'd like to see the Herald look asymmetrical if you put certain modules onto it, sort of thing.
I'm
That's
okay
what I'd
with
like.
that.
I'd
Yeah,
like to,
nothing
or
wrong
maybe
with
it
that.
opens up to have an asymmetrical look, but I don't know. I quite like asymmetrical ideas for ships, but I mean,
I
other
just
people
got
don't.
sold on the Herald with the original asymmetrical
Mhm.
look to it, so
Yeah.
I want to see that come back. I like it the way it looks now. I don't care whatever they choose either way. I think I'm gonna really like the ship, but I like the original concept more than the other concepts. So that's definitely something that I'd like to see come back again. And I just have a feeling like it will. So I hope so, but my feelings have always been wrong. So hopefully that's not the case this time. But I saved this for last. I saved this for last in the doc because I think it would be probably the best discussion that we can have, and would lead really well into the question portion of the podcast. Weapons changes that are coming up. Now, this was mentioned on 10 for the Chairman when somebody asked a question about a shotgun type weapon, and he had mentioned, and this has actually been mentioned quite a few times before that as well. They talked about with persistence and us having to purchase, ballistic ammo and missiles, that ballistic weapons and missiles are going to get much more powerful. Now, I think maybe they meant just missiles are going to be much more powerful when he was discussing this, but they're going to be more powerful than lasers because they're finite. Now, I had a discussion on the channel about
Back again in a moment.
this morning about this, and I don't know. I can't disagree more. And then
Okay.
I'm kind of agreeing. I'm
So-
like really on the fence about the way they're doing
No.
this.
It's totally fine. Ballistics dealing more damage on the stats, and it's fine for them being more powerful because they're finite, because they're not more powerful. We're going to have the ability to change the armor on our ships, change the shields on our ships.
That's where I'm
We-
going.
we can have a fully outfitted ship that's amazing against ballistic damage.
Yep.
And the people that have got their full ballistic builds are going to get fucking wrecked because they're going to go ping, 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 ping off your ship. You're going to need a mix of weapons, or you're going to need a specialized for whatever role you're going for. But both ways, whether you're going for your shields and your equipment, or whether you're going for your weapons. So, balance it how the hell you want. As long as you've got the counterbalance of having the shields, having the armor,
which we don't have.
Well,
that's fine. It's an alpha.
2.0. Well, no, we're getting them. All they need to do is add in some more shields, and we already have some shields that do that.
Yeah,
we already have. I mean, we've got coolers, we've got power plants, we've got some of the shields. They just need to add in more. We've got the armor system; it's just underutilized, and that you can drag armor from one ship to another. So like the Aurora LN, for example, you can drag its armor off onto another ship, go onto Holo Explore. It works.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it works in 2.3. I think it still does. But there's loads of stuff they can do, and I don't think it's... Yeah, I think make them more powerful. That's fine. Just make sure we've got the ability to be able to counter that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I agree, and then just like the way that I've always looked at Star Citizen, the way I've always looked at it was that energy weapons would do more damage to shields, so you would want to have a nice mix on your ship, because you would want to be able to take down shields with your energy weapons and then switch to ballistics to take out the ship's armor or something like that. And I feel like this adds... This is where I have a bit of an issue with it. And it's like I talked to Proxus about this earlier as well, and he was kind of like, it probably won't be an issue because... Here, let me explain where I'm going with this, is that if I only play an hour a day or a couple hours a week, am I going to be able to afford to use ballistic missiles, or to use ballistics and missiles? Maybe. I don't. It all depends on how much they cost, and all depends on how many missions I can do, and all that stuff. So is somebody that plays the game every day, and some of these really good pilots, are they going to be able to kick my ass every single time because I'm not the guy who's out there, who lives in his mom's basement and doesn't work and gets to play all day? And
what are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say, you two, say hi to your moms for me, please.
Say hello to your mum, mate. She's over at the moment as well. Yeah.
Vacations he was going to Europe and then to Canada.
But you see where I'm going with this, where somebody has more time to make that alpha UEC and is able to just rock ballistic loadouts and just destroy everybody all the time. I know it's an alpha. I know it's not going to be balanced. But why now? Why not when we have... Why not do this when we have... Yeah, I mean, but seriously, why not wait until you have those shields in, where you have that armor in, where you have that implementation, where it is the cat and mouse game, instead of it just being a T-Rex wrecking you,
Let's start with this, okay? Missiles, are you okay with them being more powerful?
Yes, because they're easier to avoid.
Okay.
Because there's the cat and there's the mouse.
I'm hoping
there are countermeasures.
I'm hoping that missiles are incredibly expensive and effective when used correctly.
Yes,
I'm hoping
and I
really
don't disagree with that. I think my issues are more with ballistic guns.
What if they reduce the ammo count?
Then I might have less of an issue with it. And they might just do that.
I would like missiles to hit the target more, but your shields to absorb most of the missile damage. Huge amount.
They have shields specific for missile damage.
Well, I just think shields in general should be relatively effective for missiles.
I'm still so confused at that concept, though. Right? Because a ballistic round can go through a shield and hit the ship, but a missile's explosion / the actual missile can't.
Well, that's because there's lots of energy coming out of the heat energy and light energy and stuff that it can absorb on the shield.
But it explodes inside the shield. I get it, but I don't at the same time.
I would prefer shields in general just to be significantly better at absorbing all forms of missile damage, but missiles to be much better at hitting. So when you get hit by one, you get pushed, or if you've got low shields, it fucks you.
And you have to take the shields down in order for the missile to do lots of damage, which is and I agree with that. So I don't know. I'm really...
But ballistics, okay, so I'm
On the
okay with
fence.
ballistics dealing a bit more damage, but there needs to be downsides for it. There needs to be ways to counter it. I suppose the downsides is they cost money, it's weight. Storing ammo might be explosive. There's lots of ways that you can have bad things for having ballistics. You could lose part of your ship and lose all your ammo, pour out.
Mhm.
I don't know. I like the idea of ballistics being more powerful. I also like the idea that you wouldn't want to use ballistics maybe if you're trying to take a ship alive. Because the way I see lasers dealing damage is it destroys the surface of stuff. So it penetrates stuff and then it goes through to the next layer. With ballistics, I see that it might penetrate and pierce, and then shrapnel might fly everywhere and blow up parts of the ship you don't want to blow up. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
I want to see how that damage system works.
Yeah, it's just
about
we're
it.
in such a weird place right now with weapons. I feel like
Well,
where
it's a
there's
good-
lots of ways
It's
it
also
can
a
go.
good time for them to test all of this stuff out, right?
Yeah,
Like when you
exactly.
say that right now is why wouldn't they wait? I mean, it's better that they get it out of the way now.
That's an amazing point. Where why wouldn't they wait? Because now they get to test and see if it works or if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, like none of
So-
this is finalized. None of this is 100%.
I
So-
always think of this game because I play it so often
Yeah,
as a game,
it's
Now.
definitely not a game right now.
and it's just not.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard sometimes. And I guess that's really where this discussion is a good place to go. Is that this is an alpha and things are definitely still work in progress and things are going to change all the time, and they make these kind of changes to see what happens and see what we do with it and see how things work, right?
Mhm.
So that doesn't mean that this is the final decision on how things are going to be. Now, ballistics are more powerful now. Also, they deal more damage now than energy weapons, right? They're a little slower, so your accuracy with the joystick is more difficult. I know that. I'm not much of a mouse and keyboard person, so I don't know how that is. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of the way it is now anyway, right? As far as the weapons go, so maybe not. I'm kind of like coming around to being okay with it now. I mean, that's why I wanted to have this discussion with you guys, is because maybe I was being a little ridiculous about it, you know.
No, I mean they need to make sure that lasers are certainly useful. Cause
Yeah,
want-
and that's a
you
little
wanna
bit what I'm afraid of.
appealing. You need to make those lasers appealing. You need to make people go, well, I do want ballistics because I am going to be doing this, or do I want lasers? Or it's a hard choice because. Not,
Yeah.
well, I've got more money now, so I'm going to buy ballistics.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I don't want that to happen.
Because I think to be honest, I kind of feel that lasers and energy weapons should be more powerful. It's just really hard to support them without super powerful power
Power
plants.
plants and coolers.
Yeah, like you can have 2 really powerful lasers on your ship when you've got 6 weapon slots because your power plant's screwed.
Yeah.
But I mean, the ballistic weapons don't even have the drawback of the power. So there does need to be some balance there, or at least some weapons that make use of power plants. And
Yep.
it's all about balancing your ship and balancing your play style and making crazy choices. That's what the item system 2.0 is supposed to do. So
I guess maybe that's more my concern than anything, is that energy weapons aren't going to be as useful. I guess if ballistics are more powerful, as long as they make a more useful situation for lasers, then I'm okay.
Yeah, they don't think it be like it is, but it do.
Yeah.
yeah, WTFOSaurus says 100%,
100%.
100%, mate.
Yeah. Also, guys, if you have any questions, !question in chat.
Yeah. So
A little late on that,
probably
but I know we have a few in there already.
Nice.
Did you want to jump over to that now?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Let's
do
it. All right, let me get this set up here.
Because
And-
I was kind of looking forward to anybody else's opinions on that, because I think a lot of the chat is having discussion about it now, and I would love to see, you know, if you have any questions or, you know, want more discussion points about that because I think that's like probably one of the bigger discussion points from this week that's come out, other than just random news, you know.
Word. Okay, so
Yeah.
currently, and this is asked by Dreamkill, and currently for gaming, it's more important to have a CPU with clock speed, or gigahertz, then a CPU with more cores for gaming. With DirectX 12 and Vulkan, do you think there will be a shift to using more cores in games? Yes.
Yes.
And and I don't think that's just
That's the whole
necessarily
point.
DirectX 12 and Vulkan, right? I think that's just kind of what games are doing now.
Mostly
Yeah,
DirectX 12 and Vulkan, though, because they're
Yeah, so
be...
they need those APIs to be written for them. They need that back end stuff, and DirectX 12 and Vulkan is the way that most of those games are going to be doing it. So we're going to get the combination of CPUs and GPUs and all the cores and everything working together. We're going to get great SLI. We're going to get multi-card SLI crossfire hopefully as well. So we'll be able to see NVIDIA cards with indeed, hopefully with some of the APIs and stuff. So
the ability is there. Whether they decide to do it or not is sort of up to them. No, this sort of goes on, and I don't really, scanning ahead really quickly, I don't really see anything about it, is we should be seeing the new rollouts for the next generation of cards in like this month or next month, right?
Pascal, yeah, woo!
Pascal announcement should be happening in mid to late April, I believe.
And I know what a lot of people come into my chat and a lot of people come into yours and probably ask you, Board, and I think, what graphics card should I get for Star Citizen? And I think most of us have always said wait for the Pascal cards. So
yeah, I mean it's always going to be
here.
a waiting game, especially with Star Citizen
hardware
not being
a
finalized game. I would say if you can run it now, hold off for as long as possible, because even if let's say hypothetically 980 Ti is 100% the best card you can get hands down for Star Citizen, right?
Well, that's actually a lie, because NVIDIA have unveiled their Pascal P100 Tesla, which requires a 3200 watt power supply, and I think it will cost a mere $129,000. It is for developers, though.
Yeah. So let's just say that 980 Ti is the best card you can get hands down. You can get that right now. I would still suggest waiting until Star Citizen is closer to release, because even if you go with one of the current generation cards, or even one of the very capable last generation 700 series or R9 series for the AMD cards, they're going to just be cheaper. By then, you'll be able to pick one up either used or for a lower price point than you will be able to now. So if it's not 100% vital that you need this card for gaming right now, there will always be newer, better things coming out just around the corner. I know when I first built my machine with an i7 4770K and the 780, I literally got the 780 Poseidon as it came out. And that was right before the 970 and the 980 came out, like literally 6 months beforehand. And actually, I found out the same month that I bought the 4770, the 4790K was available, and to me is a superior chip. So I would say hold off and wait unless you absolutely need to get one of those cards. But yeah, a little tangent there. On to our next question. From IDD KFA, he asks, with 90% of the population being NPCs in Star Citizen, how important will it be for Cloud Imperium Games to make a great and believable artificial intelligence? Bonus round, can CIG be one of the few studios to pull it off?
Frankfurt, mate.
That's one thing that we didn't really mention today. I actually forgot to put that in. I meant to, and I forgot. Was I can grab the link and put it in the doc right now, but it's really important, and that's what Frankfurt's working on, and I believe the UK too, and mentioned subsumption and making everything feel real, right? So I think it's super important. And can CIG pull it off? I think they're pulling it off right now. So yes, let me grab the link for you, Source. I'll have it in just a second.
Number one, what's believable AI? Okay, for Squadron 42 in single player, yeah, it's going to be fucking great. For the PU, it's going to be weird because players don't act like AI. Players jump around and are lunatics. They'll be bunny hopping down the street if they can to try and buy
at the bottom.
I've seen people try to do the bunny hopping already.
yeah, exactly. So believable AI is a really, really weird concept. AI that looks good and adds character to the scene they're in. Yeah, I mean they can do that with scripting. They're trying to do some really clever stuff. They're trying to do dynamic AI that have like a list of tasks
Well, they
and
have a
then
whole
dynamically
external studio,
choose.
right? That's
Well,
working
the
on
Frankfurt's
Moon Collider.
amazing, man.
Well, they have Moon
Frankfurt
Collider
is-
working on.
Oh yeah, of course. Got Moon
Right?
Collider on it as well.
So
What are Behavior doing at the moment?
nothing.
Behavior
No, I
doesn't
don't-
Behavior
I think
do
they're
the,
doing-
the landing zones and stuff like that. So they're probably with Nyx, and isn't that what Behavior does?
So I always thought that.
I know that they so I know they
There's
do
so
the
many damn
hanger flare.
offices.
I know they do the hanger flare and some of the smaller stuff. Maybe they do some of the clothing modeling or weapon modeling and stuff like that.
Where's the monthly report? Where's the monthly report?
Saurus, if you want to show the video of Subsumption, it's at the bottom of the doc.
I don't have that open right now, but let me look.
I just put it there. That's why. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important, and they're kind of working on making them feel real. Like I know what's going to happen is I think they're gonna have certain personalities that they can give to the AI, and then they're gonna be able to do certain emotes and say certain things based on those personalities. I think it's really good.
They're supposed to dynamically choose based on their situation as well. So they see what's happening around them, they see their situation, and they react to it. I think that's a great idea. I think that would be really cool if it works.
They've always mentioned things like if you didn't shower for a while, that the AI might go, "Ooh, you stink," and get away from me. Or if you ignore them when they talk to you, that they might get upset. Like little things like that are what they have in mind, not necessarily things that are in right now, but like what we're watching or what we were watching 30 seconds ago or whatever is that the guys are clapping and they're doing emotes and they're all doing
dynamic.
that. Yeah.
And this is where they're avoiding collision.
And at the first time with the avoiding collision, I was like, wow, this is terrible. I didn't realize that because it just says avoiding collision. I didn't realize that this was like with it and without it. So the first one is without it and the next one's with it. So I'm like, these guys aren't avoiding each other at all. What's going on?
Yeah, no, they're pacing through each other.
Yeah, what is this? But then with Orca, this optimal reciprocal collision avoidance, it feels pretty real. They're
It's actually
avoiding each other. Free Willy.
Wow, that's a new thing for your channel to work.
Yeah.
Free Willy.
No. And yeah, by the way, that video was created by Vegas 12, Pro 12.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh my god, what a faux pas!
So cringe.
Because I was cutting it up for my news show, and I was like, I haven't created this in Vegas. What the hell?
That was so cringe. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really important, and I think it's something that they definitely think is important too, because they're putting a lot of time and effort, and it's one of those things. Like we keep talking about what's priority for them. It's clearly priority for them right now.
So, I'm curious. What do you think of the Around the Verse, the UK studio with the sound bug? What did they?
I just went right past it. I was like, mostly what they seemed to be talking about was 2.3. So I was like, eh.
I couldn't tell what they were talking about. I just went, they're probably talking about 2.3, congratulating themselves, and then saying how much work they're doing on 2.4 and Squadron 42.
Yeah, next.
Probably.
It's like every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really bad. I was like, really? Just test the mic out. Come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Our next question from Ron Baker, 1974, is how do you guys deal with periods of saltiness when the game gets stale or wrecked, or if it's not working properly?
It's hard. I had a couple discussions with some of the QA guys over the last few days. One of them while I wasn't playing Star Citizen, about I want to help. I want to be a part of the process. That is what's exciting about the game. But when a lot of it's really hard right now. It's not hard when the game's crashing, to be honest. It's a lot, and the actual gameplay is enjoyable. It's really hard when the frame rates are low and it's impossible to join enjoy the gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
so for example, a lot of the PTU builds had really low frame rates, and we were having issues with that for a while, and that made things really difficult to want to play and to be able to show things. It's nice to get the little glimpse of beauty and greatness, and then have things go out. But honestly, what I've done is I've played other games. I've researched other games. I'm getting really excited about games like Stellaris and and other games like that. Is really what I've done. I can't play it every day when it gets. I don't want. I think it's really important as a Star Citizen streamer to show the game in a good light, and to be positive about it, and to help people when they have questions about it. And if I'm not enjoying the current build, or if I've played it so much and I can't come up with anything more exciting, I sometimes think it's okay to go and play something else. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I played XCOM and I enjoyed the shit out of it, you know?
It's not necessarily periods of saltiness, though. It's the game can get stale because we play it so much. And because, as we said earlier, we focus too much on just the new stuff, and we don't ever go back and look at the old stuff again. Like
we were talking about, why aren't we playing more Arena Commander? It's fun.
Yeah.
There's new weapons and stuff. There's new loadouts we can do.
That's
there's
what
new ships.
I've been trying to do lately is do more Arena Commander and stuff like that. The big thing for me is I enjoy playing a game where I can play with other people. And interact with other people. That's what I find enjoyable. I'm not a lore guy. I'm not a story person. I could care less about that myself. But for when I have those interactions with other players, and when I'm able to play with other players, if other players don't have the incentive to play or necessarily do things in game that allows that emergent gameplay, that allows that multiplayer stuff, it makes it a lot harder for me. Lately, it's been really rough for me. I love streaming. I love Star Citizen, and I want to play it. But when there's nothing to do, or it feels like I'm just doing the same things over and over again, and it's getting stale and it's getting boring, I kind of, for lack of a better term, I kind of lose my mind a little bit. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be doing, because I feel that even though, there is the Vandal Swarm, and I have been doing that and going back and doing Squadron Battle or Battle Royale or whatever, I feel that content, while it is playable, isn't very exciting, really. And a lot of people sort of want to see a lot of the newer stuff. And I know that. I know from a viewer's perspective, they want to see the newer stuff right now. And trying to do the newer stuff over and over again is really tough, because people will go and check it out once or twice, and that's about it. For me, I think we need more objectives.
And that's where persistence matters.
Where persistence matters, and one of the big
that
things,
boring stuff builds up money.
One of the big things that it doesn't even necessarily have to be in game. This is, especially with all the PTU patches and everything, is I know they put it out in other places, and sometimes it gets to me, sometimes it doesn't. What we should be specifically testing. Right? If there's something that you want us to be specifically testing, this is stuff that should be put in the launcher. I don't want to have to go and search through forum posts for it. I don't want to go to the Reddit. I don't want to go and look through specific posts to try and find out what it is that you want me to test for your game, essentially for free. If you want me to help test your game, which I'm going to do anyways, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to be a body in the server, I'm going to look, I read the patch notes, and I want to test those things. But a good example is lately, there's been, if server fixes, and it's super vague on what they've changed in E from D. Or before that, it was just racing ring stuff, so that's all I figured I needed to test. But I know now that they want people to test AI spawns and stuff like that. I think they should be including that in the patch notes in bold at the top, saying these are the specific things that we want you to test on the PTU or in public, that is in there.
Yeah,
So-
because currently the only place that they share that information, which is a good place to share it, is in their PTU Discord.
Mhm.
But how many people that are
I'm not in
currently
the
playing the
PTU
game?
Discord.
I'm in the PTU Discord, but I'm not. I'm trying to transition over from Skype to Discord and spending more time on Discord because I think it's a better platform. But I don't at the moment, so I don't frequent the PTU Discord as much as I probably should. Now, that's probably the best place to interact with the devs while you're playing. Like, this bug happened. Do you guys know about this? Blah, blah, blah. You know, that's probably the best place to do that. But one of the best things you can do is if you want somebody to do something, why not just pop a message up in game somehow? There's got to be some functionality to have text on the screen that says, we want you, especially in the PTU builds, we want you to
Even
test.
as like a message of the day that comes up
Bam.
in the chat.
Yeah, right in your
the
face.
other
and it
the
just kinda
other
disappears.
big thing is chat needs to be open by default.
That's not going to happen because that's not immersive.
People can turn it off.
I
it makes more sense right now. Right now, it's not about
Right now,
immersion.
yeah.
Right now, it's not about immersion. Sure, in the final game, make it so people can turn it off.
Yeah.
But right now, it needs to be open because
and maybe that'll be a message. Of
I
the day
would say
in the chat.
70% of people don't even know. The people that are joining, you know, or jumping in, don't even know that it's there or don't know what key it is.
Yeah.
If they want it off, they'll find a way. They'll find out the key to turn it off, and then they know for the future.
Yep.
But a lot of people just don't know. I think that's important, and then you can throw the message of the day in there, kind of like what they do on, you know, Arma or DayZ servers and stuff like that. They'll throw up a message, you know, or whatever. Even if it's a command you put in there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
/test,
Because it's testing.
and then it tells you what you need to test on that server. Our next question from Ron Baker again. He asks, what do you consider to be a critical feature to see in 2.4?
Shopping persistence.
Yeah.
Persistence, man. Like we said, which is what we were having issues with playing the game right now. The things that we do over and over again that you don't get a reward for, you're going to get the reward for. It's worth doing the ICC missions. It's worth doing Kovalex over and over and over, or whatever, you know, however they end up doing it. It's grinding a little bit towards a goal, right? Like your first million alpha UEC or something like that, right? Or cargo missions. I'm sure they're going to get boring after a little while when they come in, but eventually, when you're earning something, I think persistence is the most important thing. Persistence with the missions and with anything. There's nothing more important than that to me. And I can't imagine you guys would disagrey.
Yeah, no, I persistence. I think we all agree 100% on that.
Yeah.
One. There's no real conversation to that.
Yeah.
Our next question from the Nubifier asks, Chris Roberts said that we skip past Star Marine because we have the baby persistent universe. I believe that it is not up to par yet. Do you agree, or is there some insight I'm missing? I'm going to start this one here. So we had Arena Commander first because the persistent universe wasn't ready. And it was a way for them to test out ships and mechanics and things like that without having to implement the full 64-bit scale, without having to implement all the different stuff and whatever. And so that's what they did. And they eventually made those maps bigger until they were comfortable with the 64-bit. And then they did that, and then they gave us that. And when that came out, we had the first implementation, so everything that worked with FPS. Now, with them to put out Star Marine right now, I'm with you. I would like to see it, but at the same time, I understand why they're not doing it.
We don't have grenades.
We don't have grenades. We don't have proper gravity to 0G stuff in 100% yet. We don't have
Look at how
push-pull,
healing works.
right? We have massive latency issues. We don't have the cover system in yet. We don't have full armor systems in yet. We don't have all the new weapons or anything in. Now, you could say, well, we don't need all of that for that to work. We need the ability to turn on and off gravity. We haven't seen that anywhere yet, right? There's all of these things that need to be in there. And the main thing was they were doing that to prep for the persistent universe, but they just put it in the persistent universe. Now, I don't think that they'll release Star Marine until it's in a state that is similar to what Arena Commander is now, right? And for them to put something out like that, they know, and I know, that there are a lot of people on the sidelines that are just waiting for that to come out, to jump into the FPS and try it and compare it against every FPS that's out there. And for them to put out something that's subpar just doesn't make sense for Star Marine right now. It's not necessary to anything that we do. I agree, it's a pain in the ass to die, respawn, and then have to fly back out there again. But maybe there are ways around that they can do that. Maybe they could put the prison closer to it or something, or the prison on the security station, right, on a different floor or something like that.
I mean, my view of this is that, yes, I agree with you, Nubifier. It's not up to par yet. Nothing in the game is.
Yeah, nothing is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody nothing at RSI, at CIG, they agree, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take
time. If it was
time.
up to par, the game would be out.
Yeah, it's still getting implemented slowly. Even if we had Star Marine as they intended, it wouldn't be up to par. So, you know.
And at this point, do you guys really think that Star Marine's even important?
I mean, I would like it because, as you said, we're not getting to test out the first-person shooter stuff at the moment because no one's at Korea.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating. I do everything. I keep saying, this is my new thing. I type in the chat, there is 1 million UEC sitting on landing pad 1 at Security Post Korea. You just have to get out of your ship to see it. That's all I keep saying. And some people get out and fall for it, but I mean, it is so hard to get people to get out of your ship. Get out of your ship. It's fun.
Or murder you. Come on, it's fun for me.
Or get murdered by you. I don't care. It's fun. You know?
But yeah, hopefully that answers your question sufficiently. Our next question is from Steve J 1397, and he asks, what is the game mechanic that you're most looking forward to after Persistence is implemented?
Saurus is going to be boarding. Teknoaxe is going to be mining. Cargo. Yeah, mine's probably cargo or mining. I mean, the next one we're going to get after Persistence is cargo, isn't it?
Yeah, and like obviously, I think the thing that I'm actually most excited about is exploration, but I think cargo, in the time being, will be a nice break from it's just constant PvE. Like it's all it's ever been is kind of PvE, PvP. Like it would be so nice to just put on some friggin' trucking music and just chill and talk to the chat and move some cargo from one place to another, you know, and just have a chill.
Just having that ability to do that while in a stream, right? Maybe I want to have an intense FPS gunfight or intense,
or maybe I don't
thing. But then 10 minutes later, I just want to take a break and just chill and hang out, and then jump back into it, right? So for me, I know I wouldn't want to do a whole stream of trucking. I would get too bored and want to shoot myself in the face, but I could see myself doing, okay, let's go do a run right now. Or, hey, we just stole this guy's cargo. We might as well finish the run for him. Or whatever,
Yeah.
But it would be nice for the variety.
Definitely.
Our next question, we have a couple from Steve J here, is, do you think they should implement fines in the Persistent universe? Such as, if you damage or destroy a ship in monitored space, you would be levied a fine. With Alpha UEC coming in, I think that's a pretty good idea, actually.
I don't mind it, and I think if you get caught, I don't think it should just be automatic fines.
No.
I mean, I like the idea, and I like the idea that maybe you get a fine, but you have to either pay it off after a certain amount of time, or you become a criminal, or you pay it off after a certain amount of time, or you can't respawn a ship until you've paid it off, or something like that. I don't know.
You can't. Yeah, instead of not being able to see Olisar, and not being able to go to Olisar, you should be able to go there, but maybe you don't get. I mean, in the future, maybe you don't get clearance to land on a landing pad, because I don't think you should just be able to land on whatever landing pad you want. No. I think you should eventually ask for clearance and be able to land on it. But for the time being, once you maybe you land your ship on the landing pad, you aren't able to. Maybe it just disappears, or you aren't able to load up another ship. I think that's a good one.
I think eventually we're going to see black boxes for ships as well.
What's black boxes?
Yeah, so for those who don't have, who kill ships in non-monitored space, you would have to make sure you get rid of that black box, or that other person can go and retrieve that, or someone else can retrieve it, and then when that's turned in, you could get a fine. But that would be later on. That would be later on. And the last one here from Steve J. We have one more question after this one. Is... Do you think that both FPS and ship ballistic weapons should have the ability to jam? Yes.
Mm.
Yeah,
Overheat,
if you don't,
maybe,
if you don't main, yeah,
slash
overheating.
Yeah, that's fine.
For
Literally
jamming,
jamming, I'm not sure. It's, I mean, they'd have to think of a clever mechanic for doing it.
I can
And
show
how do you
you an
jam?
example right now if you'd like. In my beloved Escape for Tarkov game, they have weapon jamming, misfires, and the like, depending on if you maintain your weapons or not. So if you're not cleaning it, if you're not repairing it when it needs repair, or making sure it cools down properly, or whatever, then you could have misfires.
A percentage chance per bullet, yeah? It's like
Well, it would be a percentage chance going from 0% on your first fire on a pristine weapon. After you've overheated it at a certain temperature, maybe it's got a higher percentage of it misfiring or jamming. But let me...
So for Star Citizen, I don't want to see much RNG, so I don't like that idea. If they have an ability to jam that is physics-based... somehow,
yeah, it would be physics-based. So it would be based on the amount of heat that your weapon has generated, or whether it's been cleaned or not. That's what I'm saying. It's not a total RNG thing. If you're always cleaning... If your weapon is clean, and you're not just holding down the gun on something that's similar to an M249, and just letting 800 rounds go through it, then you should be fine. If you're watching the heat levels on your weapon and you take care of your weapon, then it shouldn't be an issue.
See, yeah, if it's not roll, if it's not percentage roll, like there's a 3% chance for it to go when it's got this much heat in it. If it's not done like that, if it's done like your barrel is warped because you're overheating, or the weapon hits its a piece of ammo hits its flash point or something and explodes. Yeah, I love that idea. I love the physics-based stuff. I don't want RNG. I don't want random percentage.
Yeah, no, it would be based on the weapon's
well, maybe
condition.
then.
So I'm just saying you would get a percentage based on the weapon's condition, right? That would match the weapon's condition. So it wouldn't be RNG. It would be based on.
Nah, I don't like RNG. I
It's
don't
not
like
RNG
in this.
It
is.
But
because you're rolling a dice per bullet.
Well, real life it would be RNG. Real life it would be RNG.
No, real life isn't RNG. It's not RNG.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
But it would be.
It's called variance.
Yeah, there would be variance, so it would depend on the
There's
condition
so much
of the
variance
weapon.
in life.
Yeah, there's so much variance, but it looks random, but it's not. It's my belief anyway.
Well, you wouldn't know the difference, is what I'm saying.
Oh, how do you know the difference then? That's what I'm saying.
Well, if you know that if
you're
you're
have this philosophical,
we are going to have it right now, because if you're overheating your weapon, or if your weapon is dirty from overuse without you cleaning it, then it's going to affect your weapon. So let's say that a pristine weapon has 0% chance of that happening. But as soon as you start to overheat that weapon, or you start to, overuse it without cleaning it, then you have more of a chance, just like you would in real life, where
people are agreeing with you, basically saying, yeah, you need to have some form of RNG, otherwise you have to physically simulate every part of the goddamn weapon. I want every part of the goddamn weapon to be physically simulated.
I'm going to hang up the Skype call. That's it. It's over. All right.
Like one.
Anyways, yes, I would like to see them jam and misfire. There is a video. I couldn't find it right now because it's in the middle of a developer diary. I'll try and find it later on my stream. That'll show you, and they even have like animations and stuff for when the bullets jam and stuff like that, or for them to fix it. As well. It would just be you fire the weapon again and they would go to fix it and whatever. And our last question from Stuart GT asks, have you tried the Rift and or Vive in the leading VR games? Adrift, Subnautica, Elite Dangerous, etc. I haven't tried any of those, but I have tried other ones. What did you think of the experiences? Will you be getting one or both headsets? What are your thoughts? And on the second part, what are your thoughts on Foundry 42 Germany's statement that VR is on hold, not indefinitely, but not a priority? Considering that experienced VR game devs say VR implementation has to be planned and designed in early, not bolted on later. And says cheers. So I guess we should probably tackle the last question first, because I think that's more relevant, and then we can go into the second one. So, thoughts on Foundry 42 Germany saying VR is on hold, not indefinitely, but it's not priority. I agree with you that it can't really be bolted on later. They need to design the game around that. That being said, they kind of are anyways. They are trying to stay away from the HUD and everything as well. They do need to make the animations make it so it's a player movement thing, right? So instead of just now they don't do this right now with ladders, but say that if you went up to a ladder and automatically climbed up, you can't do that. They are doing that with some of the ships. They know that needs to be changed, and they will be fixing that. As well as the speeds of you doing that. So if you hold shift, you do it faster or whatever. Because if you don't and you take away that control from a player, it feels really weird. With everything else, the reason the Mobi-Glass is the way that it is, the reason that they're doing first person and third person, the same animations, is all of that stuff is going to tie in. It's going to feel very comfortable for the most part when you're within a ship. It's just basically how they handle the FPS portion of it, I think, in my opinion. I don't know if you have anything else to tack onto that.
Yeah, I think that the engine supports VR. They've got VR in mind while they're making the game. They've got Frankfurt, so when they do put their attention to it, it's going to be fucking great. And they are going to be kind of bolting it on later, but they had it in mind for so long, so I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, it's just something that they're not adding right now. It's something that they're going to put in afterwards and just make sure it's all polished and working. And I'm sure if there's anything that they have that's issues with that, they'll deal with that as that time comes. Or maybe, who knows, maybe they'll be like, okay, Star Citizen is only good in VR in Arena Commander. Or something like that. We don't know yet.
I mean, for me, it's about the Squadron 42 experience, really. Yeah. I mean, that's what I want it for. That's what I want my VR for. Not too fussed about the PU, really, because I want to have lots of screens open.
Yeah, I want it for the PU. I want to be able to fully immerse myself into that. I care less about actually Squadron 42 and more about it in the PU, because that's my ultimate VR game, is Star Citizen in VR. Right?
Yeah,
like
so
just seeing the scale and everything in real life.
I'm not really a fan of single-player games, but the thought of doing Squadron 42 in VR really excites me.
Now,
I can't wait. Just for Squadron 42 in general.
You've tried the Rift, correct?
I've had the DK2 and I've tried a Vive Pre.
Okay, and I've tried the Vive consumer version. I know actually some people are getting their Vives today delivered, and some people already have their Oculus Rifts delivered. Now, with the leading VR games that you put here, Adrift was a game that I bought and got a refund for. And that'll tell you enough about that. Subnautica I don't own. Elite Dangerous I've played twice and found it extremely boring. Project Cars I played once and found it extremely boring. And I haven't played Valkyrie. I didn't like... Adrift, I would have loved it, except for the fact that you cannot turn off the music, which can't be really called music. It's just like a blah, blah, blah. Literally, that. Hours on end. And it's loud. And it's annoying. And I didn't like it, and I couldn't turn it off. So I got a refund for the game. If they make it so you can turn down the volume separate from the sound effects, then I will buy it again. But until then, I will I can't suggest that game.
If you like survival games, okay, Subnautica is surprisingly pretty, works really well with VR, and well, I suppose it might not work really well with VR because you might start to feel really lonely.
Yeah,
A lot of
I
people
could
play
see the
that
same
game.
thing with
They
Adrift.
seem to like it.
I could see the same
Yeah.
thing with Adrift because you're out in space by yourself, and
Yeah, you might start to genuinely feel a bit anxious because you're so alone in the wilderness. So, I mean, I'm going to be doing lots of stuff with my Vive when it arrives, hopefully this week, and we'll see how long-term effects of VR affect the human brain.
yeah. Now you have a Vive coming, right?
Yes.
Do you have an Oculus as well, or is that something you're going to look
No.
into in the future?
Just the Vive. I mean,
Vive.
I would possibly get an Oculus as well if people were like, we can only do certain things on the Oculus.
Yeah.
Although that might make me not want to buy an Oculus more.
I agree
So
with
unless
you
the
on the
specs
second
heavily
point.
change,
And Twerk,
unless the specs heavily change, then
you look at it as a gimmick. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Twerk thinks VR is a gimmick. And I'm currently raising money right now to get a Vive. And like I said, we'll have a Starfire with LTI when we hit that. And then I might get a Glaive to give away or some other big ship to give away as well. And so when I hit that goal, we'll do those. Yeah. So I think that's it for this episode of Redacted. Thank you to everybody who came out.
Woo!
Twerk17, what are you up to this week, and where can people find you?
I guess one of the unique things that I'm up to this week is definitely trying Elite Dangerous out. I think it's important. I know you mentioned it, saying that it was really boring, but I think it's important as a Star Citizen streamer that as a lot of people come in and say, how does this compare to Elite Dangerous? Or, well, Elite Dangerous is better. And I think it's a good... I want to be informed enough on Elite to have that conversation and not have a, well, my game's better than yours argument. Just like a, you know what, I really like this about Elite. I really like what Elite does here, and I really like what Star Citizen does here, and so on. So I want to be a little bit more informed on Elite, so I'm going to play that a bit coming up. But other than that, we have on Saturday or Sunday, I haven't decided yet, a Avenger Titan giveaway.
Okay.
And I think that's really it. Just kind of trying to think of some single player kind of story-ish games to start playing on stream as well to kind of pass the time and enjoy myself a little bit.
Pony Island.
Pony Island.
I'm not even joking, mate. I'm not even joking. Pony
I'll
Island.
play it on 420. I'll play Pony Island on 420.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, oh my god, that was such a good game.
That's what I'll do.
And where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me here, obviously, on twitch.tv/Torque17. That's where you are right now.
Give me a second.
You can find me on Twitter at Torque17Gaming and the same on YouTube. And please don't hesitate. Pick up your Gray Ed or Ahi t-shirts below, please, and thank you. I think they're pretty funny, so, yeah.
And BoredGamer, what are you about yourself? What are you up to this week? And
Hello. Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to be building a computer tomorrow. I've literally just got to put the CPU cooler on it, and then I'll probably do a review of it and chat about that. Waiting for my Vive. So as soon as that comes, there'll be 5 videos going up. I'll try and get it working with Star Citizen as soon as I can, even if I'm just bodging it to work with 4pix or something. I'll find a way of making it work.
Is the new PC going to be Vive capable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it needs to. It's going to be my recording rig, so it's going to be Star Citizen very high capable while recording.
Okay.
So what else am I going to be doing? I'm going to be doing some videos on Star Citizen, how the item system 2.0 interacts with each other. So how the coolers interact with the power plants that interact with the shields, and how that gets fed to your weapons, and why it works like that, and all that sort of jazz. Obviously got the news coming up as well, and lots of random things. Really, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I just let it go, just let it happen.
Yeah.
I've started a new thing called Community Spotlight, where I look at Star Citizen websites, tools, and apps, and that sort of stuff that other community members have made. Literally today, I looked at one called Max Strange website, which is like a looking at the tales of a player character in the Star Citizen universe, and he does art with it and stuff like that, and blog posts.
Oh, cool.
Little captain's dogs. Yeah, it really is. So I'm looking for more stuff like that at the moment. I'm looking for people that have done their own like silly blogs and cool little art things about Star Citizen that might not be discovered elsewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm looking for more of that if anyone else has got stuff like that. But you can
should
find
ask
me.
them, ask them if we can highlight it on the podcast or on the website. I think website would be a cool place.
That's a good shout. I can highlight it on the website as well. I'll ask. Yeah. Okay. No, that's a great idea. But you can find me on BoredGamer UK, on the YouTubes, and on the Twitters, and pretty much anywhere else really. Just Google it and see my beautiful face.
Google it, and you get tons of
Just
pages
Google it,
of him. Just like when you Google WTFOSaurus.
And genuinely, thank you for all the kind messages. Thank you for the glut of donations. But genuinely, just people that were chatting to me, that were tweeting me, that were messaging me on YouTube to make sure I was all right, and that sort of stuff. It really, really did make a fucking huge difference, guys. I was pretty down, and you helped raise me up. And I'm not going to start singing. But if you have issues of your own, if you've been affected by anything in this podcast, please talk to your friends and family. Talk to your doctor. Nothing's as terrible as you think it is. Everything is copable with. And once you realise that you can talk to other people about it and you're not going to be judged, everything becomes a lot easier to deal with. So please do that.
Well, I can say for me that I'm really, really happy to have you back. We missed you, man. So
thank you. That does mean a lot. And thank you for what you did for me last week, Saurus.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. So yeah, thanks, guys.
Tampa Pride.
For myself, I will be playing some Star Citizen. I'm going to be doing some Vandal Swarm right after this on my channel, which you can find at twitch.tv/WTFOSaurus. You can follow me on Twitter, where I am extremely active at twitter.com/WTFOSaurus. You can also find all three of us on Redacted TV, where we're active in posting content and news and information and all kinds of cool stuff for you to watch. We also have a Redacted YouTube channel, youtube.com/RedactedTV. And our Twitter is Watch Under Redacted, and we do have a Patreon as well if you'd like to help support us in building the website and doing the podcast and doing all other kinds of cool stuff. It is very much appreciated, and thank you to everybody who came by. Remember to stick around. This channel is going to be hosting mine, and I'll be playing some Star Citizen, and then possibly Division later. If not Division, definitely tonight. And we will see you guys shortly. Thanks again for coming by. Guys. Take care, and we will see you next week.